Congresswoman, why did Democrats on your committee choose to release these photos now, and can you give any context around them? Do you know the context of them?
Yes, so I was briefed on this release this afternoon, and as I understand it, on Thursday afternoon, the estate notified the committee that they had additional documents to produce in response to the subpoena that the committee had issued. This would be the fourth tranche of documents that have been released. As you recall, the first was the birthday book. The second was flights, schedules, and a series of documents. And the third were the emails that were these explosive documents a few weeks ago. And so the latest is a set of photographs that seem to come from an iCloud account that Jeffrey Epstein held, as well as photos that were attached to emails. And as was explained to me by the attorneys from the committee, there was no context provided by the estate. So there are 95,000 photos released by the estate. The attorneys went to New York to meet with the estate to authenticate that these were indeed from the estate, and they were released to the committee. As the attorneys explained to me, they are only about 10% through the entire photograph cache, and that there are many more very, very disturbing photographs, including potentially photographs of sex acts and other disturbing photos in this cache of documents. And so I don't know the specifics as to why the committee chose this representative few photographs, but certainly the photographs are quite disturbing.
And just to clear what you just said, you said that there are other photographs that attorneys are still going through, which may show actual sex acts. Are those attorneys for your committee, or are those from the Epstein estate? Has the Epstein estate actually handed over those images already?
Yes, they have. So this is an actual document production pursuant to the congressional subpoena. So we subpoenaed these documents from the estate, and they've been producing various documents in various tranches. So like I said, this is the fourth production, and the attorneys for the committee, which is a bipartisan set of attorneys, so both Democratic and Republican attorneys, went to authenticate the release of these documents.
So do you know how many more photos your committee has, and do you know when they may be released?
As was explained to me by the attorneys today, there's about 95,000 photographs were released by the estate yesterday.
So you have, I mean, there's only been, I don't know, a dozen or so photographs released now. So you have almost 94,000 or plus photos still to go through, or are going through.
As I understand it, that is what the staff and attorneys on the committee are going through right now, yes.
Julie, when you hear that there are some it sounds like almost still 95,000 or 94 more plus thousand photos still to be released, what do you make? I mean, that's a huge amount.
Well, they probably encompass quite a number of years. When he was doing his sex trafficking in Palm Beach, we know from my interviews with those victims that Ghislaine Maxwell, his accomplice, was taking a lot of photographs of those underage girls. They had reported that they were instructed at several points to pose provocatively in various stages of undress. And part of it sometimes was just to give Jeffrey a present, a birthday present or some kind of a gift with these pictures. She was with a camera all the time, I was told from some of these victims. So it could go back quite a ways. That was 20 years ago. So, and the police, by the way, when they raided his home back in 2005, his computers were already pulled out. In other words, he was tipped off. So they never got their hands on the photographs back then. They never got their hands on his computers, which presumably contained some of these photographs. So it's a long period of time probably that they have this information.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share, and subscribe.